Being a young artist online could very well be a circle of hell. The amount of stress that I felt as a result of other teenagers online is fascinating. Looking back on it as an adult, I cannot imagine how I ever, in my entire life, thought for a second that any of that shit actually mattered. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. When I was a young artist, nervous and inexperienced, I often looked toward what I deemed as older, wiser, experienced creators in order to unlock the instructions to making good art. Unfortunately, what I typically deemed as more experienced was just, this person has a lot of followers, or this video has a lot of views. Did you know? A lot of people all looking at something doesn't mean that it's right all the time. I was so freaked out as a kid, worrying about doing art wrong. You may wonder, how the hell do you do art wrong? Well, you see, it's a crime to take inspiration from others' works, and if you trace anything for any reason ever, you will immediately be put to death. If your original character is a bit overpowered, you are now the target of an online harassment campaign. Okay, now go ahead and post your work to the internet. Go on. Why are you so scared? Luckily, I never experienced any sort of harassment because I spent a lot of my formative years trying to bend over backwards to please these soul-sucking critics and not draw or write anything that could be seen as unoriginal, or dare I say, cringe? Because these critics have been drawing for years. They must be right. They're so much older than me. People being older than you also does not make them right all the time. And also, they were like 16 when I was 12. So much older than me. You can drive a car between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. Wow! I'm gonna go over some of my favorite nonsensical takes that I've witnessed over the years. Now that I'm an adult, I've finally broken out of the horrifying fog that is being a teenager online. But I'm certain that these same takes are still being peddled on social media, like Instagram or TikTok by Kesha. So if there's any wayward teens still stuck in this prison, or I guess some genres of adult, watching this video, I want to set you free. Take my hand. Take 1. Discovering your art style is a matter of life and death. Having an art style, a way of drawing to where each piece looks the same, has the same feeling, the same vibe, consistency, was often something that I viewed as a critical aspect to being an artist. If you don't have an art style, you have nothing at all! For me, this often manifested in the form of being extremely resistant to any form of experimentation. As soon as I found my art style, it felt really scary trying to branch out and learn how to draw differently. Even just using different brushes was akin to giving up my very identity as an artist. An art style was always sold to me as a sort of signature to your work, a way for people to be able to tell that you were the one that drew something without you even having to sign it. I'm going to be very blunt here. In real life, having an art style is a lot like having an accent. You're not really aware that you have one until someone with a different accent points it out. Everyone has an accent, dipshit. It came free with your fucking Xbox. People will always be able to tell that you're the one that drew something. As far as finding an art style goes, just figure out how you most like to draw and have fun with it. An art style is something that just happens on its own. Don't drive yourself crazy trying to find it. It'll find you, in the cold dead of night when you least expect it. You can even have multiple styles. Ooh! Take 2. Inspiration is robbery. Do not take inspiration from my art. Let it linger not in your mind for more than an instant, lest my intellectual property is stolen away by your greedy consciousness, and my soon-to-be successful business enterprise is thus killed in the womb. Let my art pass before your glazed eyes without so much as a stirring of emotion, a moment of reflection. See and feel nothing. Crawl through this world on your belly, sightless and thoughtless like a worm. Reblogs over likes. Tarazippos on tumblr.com. The post I've just read aloud is a better argument than anything I could ever construct by myself. There is a great difference between inspiration and blatant theft. Hey, your character has long hair and vitiligo. Those are 2 traits that my character also has, and the characters have nothing else in common. You're a talentless copycat who stole my idea, and this is the most unoriginal character on the face of the planet. Make it your own or stop trying altogether. Huh? Huh? I guess I could write a few more paragraphs pointing out how insane this type of thinking really is, but honestly, if you have this one embedded too deeply in your brain, there's nothing I can say to truly break you out of it. This is a quest that you must embark alone. Take 3. Don't do that, do this instead! You know something hilarious? Because of how prevalent this type of tutorial is, you can actually find a video saying, don't do X, do Y instead. And a video saying, don't do Y, do X instead. And if you play both of them at the same time, your computer catches on fire. Try it! I understand why it's so common, because it's snappy and fast and most importantly, easy. If you simply avoid doing the bad art things, you'll definitely end up making the good art things just by virtue of not doing it wrong. This isn't an indictment against all videos or image slideshows of this nature. There are plenty of actually helpful and informative videos for how to draw certain subjects. But it's important to keep in mind not only what you're trying to draw, but how you're trying to draw it. Artistic advice is not one size fits all. A realist illustrator is going to have a much different way of drawing fabric folds than a cartoonist animator. I'm of the opinion that actually talking to other artists and getting real feedback on what exactly it is you're having issues with, it's always going to be more beneficial than scrolling through pages upon pages of impersonal advice. I specify artists, as in people who create art, because they're more likely to give you useful and actionable critique. Whereas, if you ask your clueless relative, they will spend the entire time trying to convince you to design a logo for their business that they haven't started yet and never will. Graphic design is the future, you know. Everybody in that field makes a lot of money. I will conclude this video by saying that you should learn how to think for yourself. Don't just listen to the most confident person in the room. And this can apply to a lot more than just art. And of course, I've now created a paradox wherein if you take my advice to think for yourself, you're actually not thinking for yourself at all. And I become instated as the true puppet master of the online world. My first decree is that you should make a NeoCities website. Goodbye!